everyone, we're Tim and Shannon. And this is Hornblower, our beloved Baba 40 that we spent the last 7 years renovating and is now our home as we sail around the Caribbean. We departed Staniel Cay rather abruptly. We had really enjoyed our time in Staniel with our friends and would have liked to have spent a few more days exploring around, but we had a looming commitment to pick up a guest in Georgetown, Exuma in less than a week. The route to Georgetown was only 60 or so miles and would have been easily accomplished in one long day of sailing had the conditions been favorable. But the conditions were not, and the conditions were forecast to be increasingly worse for the next 7 days. Feeling we would potentially miss the best opportunity available, we jumped to action and prepared for our departure. From the weather forecast, we expected 4 to 5 foot seas with winds on the nose as we exited the ocean cut from Staniel Cay. Our voyage south to Georgetown would be a long slog into the wind, with lots of time lost to tacking back and forth. There was not going to be anything romantic about today's sail. Today we are not going to be living the dream. We exit the ocean cut directly into the wind with an incoming tide. The sea is splashing onto itself with no discernible direction, but perhaps straight up, kind of like sailing in a washing machine. Tumultuous would only be a slightly exaggerated adjective. We push the little engine harder than we have ever had before, and our forward movement out the ocean cut peaks at 1.9 knots. A failure of the propulsion system right now would be perilous with rocks all around us. The next 15 minutes is uncomfortable, to say the least. As we make our way into deeper water, the sea state begins to develop a rhythm, and we hoist the sails to begin the long slog into the wind. It's a balancing act to hoist enough sail to smooth out the ride and make forward progress without hoisting too much sail as to increase the discomfort of the ride with better forward progress. Hornblower is a heavy old slow boat and is certainly capable of these conditions. Boats like Hornblower have circumnavigated the world in conditions far, far worse. Folks familiar with these boats are always quick to quip. You will break before the boat does. The boat will be fine. You, on the other hand, will not be enjoying the journey. There is little fun bouncing around in big seas, water splashing over the decks, and the waves in the wind pounding the boat for hours on end. We seldom film in these conditions. We usually have our hands full managing the boat, but when we do make the effort to document these passages, the pictures or videos seldom capture the nuances that make the passage so uncomfortable. Bouncing around in big waves quickly becomes exhausting, and we do what we can to mitigate our time in these conditions. We slog on for the next 7 hours and gain about 20 miles toward our destination. We could push this sail overnight and be at Georgetown by morning, but we're already exhausted and opt to seek a safe harbor at Leastocking Island for the night. The passage into the channel at Leastocking Island is butt-puckering, narrow with rocks and submerged shoals to the left and right of it. Veer off course here and the outcome will be unfavorable. All hands on deck while we check and recheck our route. We successfully navigate the long winding channel at high tide and ultimately drop anchor in a quiet little cove by the now defunct NOAA Research Facility. The facility had lost funding in 2012 and was now a ghost town with an airport in disrepair. The following morning, the weather forecast was still signaling increasingly degrading conditions, so we opted to leave on the next 8:45 a.m. high tide and make progress to Georgetown. Not looking forward to today's sail, and with intrepidation we navigated our way out of the channel out into the open ocean. We anticipated today's sail would, at best, be a rerun of yesterday's endurance test. We made the best of it for 3 to 4 hours, and then, like a gift from the heavens above, the wind direction starts to move in our favor, allowing us to now sail directly toward our destination and not waste time tacking back and forth, yielding little forward progress. Just like that, we are on track for an early arrival into Georgetown and will not have to ponder the options of a night arrival into an unknown port. Things are starting to look up. It's always exciting to see land when you've been on a passage. Georgetown is a major harbor in the southern Exumas. The entrance and channel were well marked and easy by comparison to our journey the last few weeks. Stocking Island, just across the harbor from Georgetown, is a favorite stopping point for sailors and yachties looking to venture further south into the Caribbean island chain. The anchorage is near several resorts and restaurants. There's an active cruisers network that facilitates activities and necessities. In season, it's not uncommon to see 300 to 400 cruising boats anchored in the area. But the season has come and gone, and we arrive unceremoniously out of season with only a few boats anchored. On a positive note, we were able to toss the anchor on some prime real estate a few hundred feet in front of the local Chat and Chill. A few months ago, this would have been coveted ground with boats dinghying for miles for this access to the Chat and Chill. Time to hop in the dinghy and check it out. After a full day of sailing, we relax with a cold tropical drink, a gorgeous view of the water, and a beautiful sunset. Join us next time as we dinghy into Georgetown for the first time to get some supplies. Tim gets a haircut at the local barber shop, and we meet up with an old friend at the Goombay Festival.